Happy Saturday, happy day 115 of the year. It is the 25th of April. It is a beautiful sunny Saturday morning here in Veligotarvano in Bulgaria. I started my day by sitting out in the sunshine and listening to the birds and focusing on my breath and being present this morning, which was a beautiful way to start my weekend. Hopefully that was available to you as well. It's always a nice way to start the day slowly with intention in nature, focusing on your breath and just connecting with the natural world before you get into the crazy digital, fast-paced modern life that we live in. Remember, slowing down and connecting with the natural world is a very, very important part of being human. And sometimes we get swept up in things and forget that we are part of the natural world. We are part of nature, and sometimes just slowing down and watching and observing that is exactly what we need, especially if we're feeling a little bit burned out or overwhelmed. It's always nice to just take a few breaths, connect with the natural world, and just observe what's happening around you. So, on day 115 of the year, according to 365 Tao by Deng Ming Tao, our word for today is dominance. So, grab your book, grab your journal and something to write with, and find a nice quiet and comfy place where you're not going to be disturbed for the next 15 minutes or so. Be here and now, present and grounded. Open up your book to page 115 and let's start reading together on the subject of dominance. Sun shines in the center of the sky. All things turn their faces toward the light. All things in this life depend on direction. In our world, all is oriented towards the sun. The planets revolve around it, the seasons depend upon it, and our very concept of night and day is tied to the sun's rising and setting. The sun is the dominant element in our lives. So think about that. Think about being part of nature, being part of the natural world, and think about the importance of the sun. The sun is the dominant element in our lives. In all other areas of our actions, we cannot avoid making arrangements that have a center or orientation. Our lives require composition, just as the solar system has a relationship and structure. Yet all structure and orientation is essentially arbitrary. We take the sun as the center of our world because of our vantage point. To someone standing in another galaxy, our sun is nothing more than another point in limitless space. There is no absolute standard by which to truly call something the center. Therefore, all arrangements and all compositions, all determinations of a dominant element are relative, subjective, and provisional. There is no center except for that in our own consciousness. When we look at the sun and the arrangements of the planets, we must also include ourselves as observers. How else is there the determination of what is being seen? Consciousness is part of this phenomena. We are the center, and there is no absolute measure. So that's an interesting way to think about the concept of your life and how the way that you view things is from your viewpoint. So I guess you could put yourself at the center of your life, and that determines the way you see things because it's from your vantage point. But then think about the next person. They're also the center of their world, and they're seeing things from their vantage point, which is not going to be the same as yours. And so that's why it's always so important to keep compassion in mind when you're having interactions with anybody else, because everyone is living from their central system. For example, let's just say everybody kind of considers themselves as the sun, right? You're kind of the center of your own life, and that's going to be different for every single person. So everyone's having a very, very different experience in this world where they are somewhat the center or the sun. So keep that in mind if you come across somebody that's perhaps got a different point of view to you, or perhaps you're having a disagreement with somebody, or you don't see eye to eye on a particular subject. Just pause for a moment and realize, okay, they are looking at things from a very, very different vantage point than me. They are seeing the sun from a different perspective than I am. And that doesn't make it right or wrong or good and bad. It just makes it different. And I feel like this is a topic that we come back to quite a bit in this book and in Taoism in general. We are all living our own very, very unique experience, and that is going to be very different from the person next to us, to the person opposite us, to the person on the other side of the world from us. Everyone is having their own unique experience in this life. So something to think about. And next time you look up at the sun, or don't look directly into the sun, but just notice how the sun does dominate our life as humans. And this first paragraph is all about that. The sun is the dominant element in our lives. The planets revolve around it. The seasons depend upon it. Our concept of night and day is all about the sun. That's how important the sun is to our lives. And every single human being has their own relationship with the sun. It's kind of crazy to think about, right? But that's just part of the human condition. So on that note, I wish you a beautiful, beautiful weekend. Hopefully it's a beautiful sunny day wherever you are. Thank you so much for being here for 115 days, and I